Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I'm joined by Suvi Honkanen.
Hello, nice to be here.
Today is a super exciting video because we're going to be taking you through the little sections of the Talisman Variation. Today we're going to be talking you through stylistic nuances as well as things that can help with the technical things involved. Now, Suvi has done this variation a lot. Tell us a little bit about your background with this variation, Suvi.
I started doing this variation when I was about 16, I think, the first time, and I have done it since in several competitions. And I have danced the pas de deux as well in a couple of different galas and also in one or in two competitions.
Yeah, and you won with this, correct?
Yes, I have won the Nordic ballet competition with this variation, as well as the Grasse, which is an international competition in France.
Amazing. So she knows her stuff. So let's take you through each section. You may be familiar with this variation. If you're looking after this video for even more in-depth corrections, then definitely head to the BWI platform where we have the variations course, which is much, much longer and in-depth, but you'll get a taste today of the things that we like to look for. So let's start from the beginning.
Yes. So you are walking in from the very back on high demi-pointe, of course, and you have a beginning pose like this. And here...
Lots of épaulement.
Lots of épaulement, yes. So make sure you're not too much like that, but you really want to show the whole audience your upper body. And you're going to flick here and here. Make sure you're not flicking too far to the side or to your back, but you're flicking a little bit front, front. And you have to use the elbow a bit and then wrist, wrist.
Now, some people I've noticed, even for the flick, which again, it's very interpretive. Some people tend to go flick, flick, and the eyes looking front. Did you always look flick, flick to each one?
Yes, I went one hand, other hand, and then the audience before I stepped.
Ah, makes sense.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So also, I find with this movement, there needs to be a lot of sensation of elbow because many people tend to, be too stiff in the elbows and just do wrists when it needs to come from the elbows as you do it.
Yes, it's not just the wrist. Yeah, it's like you have to, my teacher said, imagine that you have a water droplet and you want to throw it off your arm.
Yeah, you must practice your arms and do that a lot because that already just shows that you know what you're doing and you can look very professional. Let's carry on. So now as we bring the arm up, there's many interpretations as to where this arm should be. Now me and Suvi fully, sternly believe that it needs to have this sense of épaulement in the upper body, and Suvi will tell you a bit more detail in a moment, and it needs to come just in front of your ear this way. So we never want to be too close or even touch the face, because then there's never enough time to extend, which is something we have to focus on a lot.
Yes, so when you step, arm is already here actually. So you're not starting from the down as you're stepping, but arm is already on its way. And you're doing like a little brush, kind of like you want to show your ear. Look at my ear. And then the other side, look at this ear. Yeah, you can also think of it as a little whisper, like a bit like, what did I hear? But you're going this way.
Yeah, and I'm just thinking about it now as I'm doing it. And it's kind of in the shoulders, you're very much almost going through this small position here, but it's kind of, as you change, you incline the shoulders and shoulders, but whilst keeping this side open, you're just bringing one shoulder back a little bit, rather than being too straight and on fast. You're giving yourself some shape.
You have to do this one.
Yeah.
Yes, not like that.
But the hand is very relaxed.
Yes.
Very relaxed. It's such a beautiful pose.
It is.
And whilst that's happening, then you have this rounded arm as you come through.
Yeah, what happens very easily is this arm dies.
Yeah.
So you use this and this arm is just dead.
Yeah.
So you have to feel the energy in both arms equally. Also life in the arm which stays to the side.
Exactly. I mean, we seriously could do half an hour just on this. And then let's talk about the legs underneath. Because again, I feel like when I've watched people do it, they tend to... Now, I don't know whether this is intentional, but I'm not a fan of it. When it's like, they keep this attitude for a long time.
Some people teach like that, but the Vaganova, it's not like that. It's not a small attitude.
You want to
Yes.
focus on coming through quite quickly.
Yes.
Through the mid-calf.
Yeah, especially the first one. The first step, it's important to show your heel, of course, as you're stepping. And I think the hardest part with this step is that it's not down all the time. So for it to look elegant, you have to think of extending the leg, and then you are stepping onto a straight leg.
Now the coordination is very key.
Yeah. So so you're not stepping onto a bent leg.
Not bend.
Yeah.
Bend.
You step and bend. Step and bend.
Yeah, step and bend. Nice. That's very key, because a lot of people make that mistake massively. Then after this section, constantly changing, we go into the chassé forwards, and then we have this nice Detourné, so we're pas-de-bring over, under, into tour dégagé, which I know a lot of people struggle with. Suvi's very good at pirouettes, but it always has to be very clear. And I remember actually watching you do this in school as well. You're very clear to the front, making that preparation super clear, and that can get very lost. Which direction are we facing?
Yes, the moment you lose this here, it's the moment you get lost. And of course, you have to be very careful that when you're bringing your leg in, you're not over-crossing.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, it's fifth position. And then don't open too early again, but this one is hard. You want to open to the side, heel forward. That it's the same like in a fouette. You would want to see this moment, not opening here. And again, find the center. This one, especially if you start tour dégagé from there, is really hard. Also, if you turn too much, of course, it's not going to work. You have to be very clear with finding that front before you step.
I think a lot of people with that, because they're... Now, you may be used to, for example, doing front-side fouette, but now we're asked to go second for this Detourné, on this soutenu, but where does the force come from? And I think that's where people go wrong with the leg, trying to get it from this, when actually from this second, you've got to almost rise up on that leg a little bit earlier to create space, right? And then you're opening that left side, sorry, the right side, opening, bringing it, opening, but understanding that you got to hold the turn out as you go around, really wrapping the legs and opening the shoulders. Then for the actual tour dégagé, like you said, where are we stepping? Making sure that you don't overcross yourself on the double. Do you want to just show us the double pirouette? Yes, nice. And it's very hard because you have to close front.
You have to close front, yes.
Closing front is so difficult. It's not like you can close behind.
Yeah.
So
let me try one time.
yes, opening, keeping that shoulder open, I think is really key. Then arms before legs, before you come up.
The best case scenario, how it's best to approach that pirouette for the continuation to work, it's that you want to finish it up, that you can plier, relever. If the pirouette goes bad and you finish down, it's going to be hard to continue. You can save it, but ideally, it's like a slow turn, and this moment you float to plier, and you continue into développé.
So actually, just watching you mark that, I can see that even though you didn't physically say, you're thinking about holding, like stopping the turn here, holding that back. That's essentially what you're doing.
Yes.
Because you're going lift,
Yes.
but you're putting a full stop on that side.
Yes.
So as you go into it, full stop,
Yes.
and then you go
There's
into
too much force if you turn, try to
yeah,
stop
because
here.
then rolling forwards. Yeah, so holding that side. Good. So let's do that and then carry on. Yeah, good. Look, it's all in the body. It's autopilot. And then we do that beautiful, nice shuffle back a little bit. Yeah, and then we continue. Bum, bum. So then we do that all again, and we'll continue. Then we have this nice diagonal, which we're going to come to. So show us, because again, this is very interpretive, how we step to the corner to go into.
Pirouette finishes. Here I used to just step. Wait, let me actually. Here.
Yeah, that's a nice pose.
And
yeah. I think as well, it's nice if it's not too en face for that.
Yes.
A little bit more
yes.
open with the right shoulder as you go into it. Uh-huh.
But you want the arms to flow down, and then they are ready.
Because remember, everybody, the costume you're wearing as well, it's like this beautiful long pink skirt, and as you're doing these kinds of movements, like it's just completely floating all the time. And even though you're arriving at poses, you never want any kind of sharp movement. It's really nice and smooth all the time. And then you can either look here, use your elbows, look here, or you can look to the front, whatever you prefer before the next movement. Let's continue then.
Yeah.
Here we go.
So after this, we are here. And now we're gonna step to the diagonal, step, step. Sometimes people do chassé also, but step, step I think is a bit more elegant, and it's how I was taught it, than like that. Yeah.
You do chassé?
No, I do step,
Step, step.
Yeah. So you do step, step, show the direction with your arm, and then you're gonna jump, plié, développé, and relevé onto point, and again, relevé onto point with the arms opening.
Good.
Yes.
So for this, even when you, whether you're looking here or looking here, it's nice if just for the first step for a moment, you leave the head a little bit. Then as you go into it, this should be a huge jump. Like, you know, we don't want it to crawl. I think a lot of people sort of go, ta-ya, ta-ta. They're really big jump. I always find it's helpful to, so that you're set up, once you've landed, you show that arm already, so like it's already done. So all you need to do is développé, as well as holding the hamstring more as you land.
Yes.
So you have the arms ready before you go into the développé.
This was a really difficult one for me always, and it still is. And Isabella told me in school, I remember, to think
I
about...
actually forgot this.
Yeah, to think about when I'm doing plié, that I already start to lift the knee, and that way it's not so heavy. What I used to do is I would jump and go.
Yeah, so we're already helping each other. So yeah, lifting the knee and preparing, so then you're ready for that.
Yes.
And then we do the attitude.
Yes, from here, then you're gonna bring your right shoulder.
Showing that nice diagonal.
And it's a beautiful position.
Yeah, really nice. Then it's really nice when we go head down, head up into the à la seconde.
And from there, you're going to step onto point. First to stretch knee, don't step like that. Stretch knee, and then you're gonna bend immediately when you step. And you're gonna hop on point in little attitude around, and then plié, leg comes to passé, and relevé in arabesque. There are some different versions on this. I used to do plié also on a point, not plié with the heel down, but some people do plié heel down.
Yeah, so the plié heel down I think is definitely easier, whereas staying on point, ta 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 ta, is much more challenging. And it's all about the use of the turn-up muscles and being able to stop, so you don't keep going around.
Yeah.
One other thing is, when you do step on point, I don't think there should be any delay in getting to the pose, you know? So you're kind of getting there straight away rather than slow, you know? Because with the hopping on point, it has to be very strong.
Yes. And I found useful in this part that I was quite aware of the directions.
Yeah.
So while I'm hopping, I'm actually looking when I see this diagonal, I think that my knee stays and I open. So immediately when you see this diagonal, think your knee is staying there.
Then, and once again, arms before, legs there. So yeah, to hold the knee, arms before, bum, before you go into the arabesque. And also this kind of position that's very difficult, you need to feel very narrow in the body and feel that sense of opposition holding you tight, really. You don't want to feel really wide in this position. Narrow, 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 narrow. Feel, and then really make it secure, whether it's on point or on flat. Feel that retire position before you go into the arabesque. Ta, ta, ta. Feel it, and then go, so that you're secure going into that relevé. So we do that a couple of times, and then there's that nice
Yes.
stepping to the corner. I love that moment.
I know.
Because it's so expressive as well. It's not like this perfect pose. It's so like, and
Yes.
then we open.
And you can really step here.
Yes.
And there.
And elbows
and
always
then
wide.
you run to the corner.
Yeah, so let's go to the corner. And she slowly opens the arms. Now the arms here are very interpretive again. So Suvi, you've been doing it with the double here.
Yes. Double here. And then
So left
up.
arm on top.
Yes.
Double and up. And for this movement, I never want it looking like you're rolling toilet paper.
Yeah, not
You
too
know,
much.
so not too much of this happening. One, and then I always think about the accent. So ta 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 ya ta 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 ta. It's nice to have a sense of arrival. It doesn't need to be too sharp either. Like, but just sense of bursting to that nice attitude. Do you want to show us a little bit?
Yes. Let's see.
Ya ta ta ya ta ta yam. Then we hold the attitude. Ta ya ta and hold ta yam. That's it. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard. Yeah. So I think with this, where it can sort of be lost a little bit is when the two movements tend to blend too much together. Like for me, I'm always thinking, what are the highlights here? What do I want to show? I want to show this position and this position before I go into the next one. So it's about being very dynamic with the legs whilst really beautifully soft on top. It does help to push the glutes forwards underneath you. I think push and now pull up in the hip.
Yes.
So you can really bring that leg under. Because a lot of people, I think, ooh,
Yes.
stay backwards in the hips.
And also in the previous step, a mistake I just made when I did this, when you are here, you would preferably, you want to tombe to the front leg forward, not come down first on your heel. But I did this mistake just now.
Well, that's why we must push forwards.
So forward, and then, of course, here it's very important not to step through.
No, never.
Never.
Never. We show heels forward.
With your heels.
Yeah, inside of the heel coming forwards. Always think about those stickers being shown. And so, yeah, always slightly think about arms before legs again. Because essentially it's quite quick. But as soon as I tombe, if I think about the arms already getting there, then you can show that nice pose on the point, you know?
Yeah.
So let's carry on. And then there's the final section, which again is interpretive. Let's do the piqués.
Okay.
Yeah.
So after the last attitude, and my teacher taught me so that I do last attitude here. So épaulement is a bit different in this one. On the other ones, it's hello here. And then last one, it's like open. And then you're going to step through. Bum, bum, bum. Very sharp leg. And then you're going to do piqués. This time, it's horizontal to the side. So you're not going into diagonal, but exactly to the side. And usually arms are like this, so not through first. So you go 1 and 2 and 3 and double to the floor.
Nice. So with that one, it's very quick, but as you can see, you don't want to approach the single and the double the same.
Yes.
You know, the singles we can kind of give lots of energy and speed, but the double we have to balance, we have to land on one leg. So similar to what we were mentioning before, how in the tour de gage we had that lift. So by the time you're doing that double, when you get to this back corner, that would be when I start to lift and slow down the force. So we go up, and then we'll go down. So as you go down as well, you keep that knee back. So look, as I get to here, I think about knee back, so it kind of slows me down even more. Even though I'm going to look down, I'm not going to lean forwards. You keep the back straight, even though you're using your head, so that you're in control. You're not going to fall. And then you can use your elbows and bring everything up at the end.
Yeah, and one important thing that my teacher said, it's, of course, you have to slow down the force and then don't travel, of course, with this double.
Yeah.
For a double, you step not that far as you would for a single. And when you have done turn, turn, when you're coming down, don't bring arms down immediately, but you staying and no.
Yeah.
So as you're coming down, and then
Essentially, all connected to keeping that control.
Yes.
You know, because you can so easily just collapse back on body and fall to the floor.
Yes.
Yeah.
You want to think of it almost like a balancing pirouette. Bum, bum. And then even if you...
bottom in.
Yeah, even if you come down from the point, you can still control coming down.
What I think a lot of students make the mistake of doing is they either use their head but bring the back with it, or they keep their back straight and don't use the head at all. So I'm anticipating, if you're practicing this at home, you may go, okay, I have to keep my back straight, and go...
Yes.
So you've got to make sure...
Isolate.
Yeah, even when you're doing that, you know, you finish, but then use the head as you go into it.
Yeah, and once you get here, you are safe.
You're safe, you're fine.
There you can. Even
Really
if you're not in a
express.
perfect balance, it's quite easy to...
Yeah, exactly. So I hope this has given some insight into the variation. Like we said, if you're looking for more detail, head to ballewithisabella.com for the variations course. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and we hope to see you again soon. Let us know if you want to see more of these, and we'll chat to you soon. Bye for now.